Kindness is one of the most powerful forces in the world. It can heal wounds that medicine cannot touch, soften hearts that have grown cold, and create bridges where walls once stood. But kindness, when misused, when given without wisdom, when offered without boundaries, can become a weapon turned against the one who gives it. There is nothing wrong with being kind. In fact, it is one of the most beautiful qualities a human being can possess. But there is everything wrong with being kind at the expense of yourself, because when kindness lacks boundaries, it is no longer strength. It becomes weakness, and weakness invites exploitation. Too many people equate kindness with endless sacrifice. They believe that to be good means to always agree, to always help, to always be available, to always say yes. They think that by pleasing others they will earn love, respect, or security. And at first, it may even feel like it works. People smile at you, people appreciate your efforts, people praise you for being so helpful. But slowly, almost without realizing it, you start to notice something. The more you give without limits, the less people value it. They start expecting it, they start assuming it, they stop seeing your kindness as generosity and begin to see it as your duty. When you live like this for too long, you begin to disappear. Your voice gets quieter, your needs get buried, your dreams get postponed, your energy gets drained. You start to live a life where everyone else's happiness comes before your own. And while you may appear friendly and cheerful on the outside, inside there is a silent storm brewing, a storm of resentment, of fatigue, of frustration. Because deep down, you know that you are being used. You know that your kindness has been mistaken for weakness, and you know that you are no longer giving from abundance, you are giving from emptiness. The world has a way of testing those who are too friendly. Toxic people, manipulative people, selfish people. They are drawn to givers like moths to a flame. They can sense when someone does not know how to say no. They can see when someone fears rejection. They can feel when someone places others' comfort above their own dignity, and they exploit it. They will keep asking, keep taking, keep pushing, until you are stretched so thin that you no longer recognize yourself. And when you finally collapse, when you finally cannot give anymore, do not expect them to help you up. Those who exploit your kindness will be the first to leave when you have nothing left to give. But imagine for a moment if kindness were not without limits. Imagine if kindness were paired with strength, with clarity, with boundaries. Suddenly, it is no longer weakness. It is no longer exploitation. It is no longer self-destruction. It becomes powerful, radiant, transformative. Because kindness with boundaries says, I care about you, but I care about myself too. I will help you, but not at the expense of my own well-being. I will be friendly, but I will not be a doormat. I will show compassion, but I will not allow myself to be disrespected. That kind of kindness is respected, admired, and valued. The truth is, people respect boundaries more than blind sacrifice. They may not admit it, they may not like it when you first enforce it, but deep down, they recognize its power. When you say no with calm confidence, you teach people that your time and energy are valuable. When you refuse to tolerate disrespect, you teach people that your dignity is not negotiable. When you stop apologizing for having needs, you teach people that you are not here to live only for their comfort. You are here to live fully as yourself, and those lessons create respect in a way that endless friendliness never could. It is important to remember that boundaries do not make you less kind. Boundaries make your kindness more meaningful. Think about it. If you say yes to everything, your yes loses value. If you are always available, your presence becomes taken for granted. But when you set limits, when you choose carefully where your kindness goes, your generosity becomes rare, precious, and deeply appreciated. People value what is not easily given, and your kindness, when paired with strength, becomes something people learn to treasure instead of exploit. The fear many people have is that setting boundaries will make them seem harsh or unkind. They fear rejection, they fear disappointing others, they fear being seen as unfriendly. But the truth is, you cannot control how others perceive you. No matter what you do, there will always be people who misunderstand you. If you are too friendly, some will call you weak. If you set boundaries, some will call you selfish. If you speak your truth, some will call you arrogant. So the question is not how to avoid judgment. It is how to live in a way that protects your peace and honors your truth, and that will always require boundaries. Kindness without boundaries is like giving someone the keys to your home and telling them they can come and go whenever they please. Take whatever they want, rearrange things however they like. At first, they may be polite. But sooner or later, they will begin to take liberties. They will stop knocking. They will stop asking. They will begin to feel entitled to what was never theirs. And one day, you will wake up and realize that your home no longer feels like your own. But with boundaries, you lock the doors. You decide who enters, how long they stay, and how they treat the space while they are inside. Your home remains your sanctuary because you chose to protect it. The same is true with your heart, your mind, your energy. Without boundaries, they are open to invasion. With boundaries, they remain sacred. Every time you set a boundary, you are not being unkind, you are being wise. Every time you say no, you are not rejecting the person. You are rejecting the behavior. Every time you walk away from someone who does not value you, you are not being rude. You are being self-respecting. And the more you practice this, the stronger you become. Slowly the resentment fades because you are no longer betraying yourself. Slowly the exhaustion lifts because you are no longer pouring into people who only take. Slowly the storm inside quiets because you finally learn that kindness without boundaries is weakness, but kindness with boundaries is power. Real kindness has strength behind it. Real kindness comes from a place of choice, not compulsion. Real kindness flows from fullness, not from emptiness. And real kindness never asks you to sacrifice your dignity in the process. If being friendly requires you to silence your voice, suppress your feelings, or tolerate disrespect, it is not kindness. It is self-abandonment. And no amount of friendliness is worth the cost of losing yourself. You were not put on this earth to please everyone. You were not created to bend until you break just to be accepted. You were not designed to exhaust yourself so others can thrive. You were created with value, with dignity, with purpose. And that purpose requires you to live with strength as well as kindness. It requires you to know when to give and when to step back, when to speak and when to stay silent, when to embrace and when to walk away. The truth is, you teach people how to treat you. Every time you allow disrespect, you teach them it is acceptable. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you teach them your feelings don't matter. Every time you put yourself last, you teach them you are not worth prioritizing. But when you set boundaries, when you respect yourself enough to protect your peace, you teach people to value you. You show them that your kindness is not weakness. It is a choice, and choices deserve respect. So if you want your kindness to have power, if you want your friendliness to be valued, if you want your love to be respected, then remember this: kindness without boundaries is weakness. It may look good on the surface, but it will drain you until nothing is left. But kindness with boundaries, that is unstoppable, that is strength. That is the kind of kindness that not only changes others but protects you as well. Respect is not something that falls from the sky, and it is not something you can beg for. Respect is not given freely by everyone you meet, no matter how nice, how friendly, or how generous you are. Respect is earned, and one of the most powerful ways to earn it is by learning the art of saying no. Saying no is not about rejecting people. It is about honoring yourself. It is about valuing your time, your energy, and your dignity enough to set limits. Many people confuse friendliness with availability, and they confuse kindness with submission. They think that if you are always agreeable, always helpful, always saying yes, then you are strong. But the truth is the opposite. If you cannot say no, you will eventually lose yourself in the endless demands of others, and no one respects a person who does not respect themselves. From childhood, many are taught to be agreeable, to avoid conflict, to keep everyone happy. The word no becomes associated with rejection, disappointment, or selfishness. So people grow up fearing that if they say no, they will lose love, they will lose approval, they will lose acceptance. And so, they build a life of constant yeses. Yes to staying late at work even when exhausted. Yes to lending money they cannot afford to give. Yes to commitments that drain them. Yes to relationships that disrespect them. Yes to requests that steal their peace. And while on the surface it looks like they are friendly and cooperative, inside they are shrinking, suffocating, and slowly losing their identity. The irony is that the more you say yes to everything, the less people respect you. At first, they may appreciate your willingness, but over time they begin to assume it. They stop asking with gratitude and start expecting with entitlement. You are no longer a person. They see you as a resource. And resources are not respected, they are used. People respect boundaries more than they respect endless giving. They respect the person who knows their worth, who values their time, who refuses to be manipulated. They may not like hearing no, but they learn to respect it, because a no delivered with strength has power, and power commands respect. Think about the people you respect in your own life. Do you admire the ones who bend to everyone's demands, who never stand their ground, who always sacrifice themselves to keep others happy? Or do you admire the ones who know when to stop, who know how to draw lines, who know how to protect their energy? True respect is given to those who are firm, not to those who are endlessly agreeable, because firmness shows self-respect, and self-respect teaches others how to treat you. Saying no does not make you unkind. It makes you honest, it makes you real, it makes you courageous enough to protect what matters most. People often confuse kindness with compliance, but kindness without boundaries is exploitation waiting to happen. A person who says yes to everything may look kind, but deep down they are filled with resentment, frustration, and exhaustion. That resentment eventually poisons relationships, because giving without limits is not sustainable. But a person who says no when necessary, who guards their limits with confidence, gives more meaningfully. When they say yes, it comes from a place of choice, not compulsion. And that yes carries more weight, more value, more authenticity. Saying no is not just about denying others, it is about affirming yourself. Every no you speak is a yes to something deeper. When you say no to overwork, you are saying yes to your health. When you say no to toxic people, you are saying yes to your peace. When you say no to meaningless distractions, you are saying yes to your purpose. Every boundary you draw with a no creates space for the things that truly matter, and that kind of self-respect radiates outward, commanding others to respect you in return. Of course, saying no is not always easy. It comes with discomfort. Some people will be angry, some will be disappointed. Some will try to guilt you, manipulate you, or shame you into changing your mind. But remember this, their reaction is not your responsibility. You are not responsible for how others feel about your boundaries. You are responsible only for protecting your peace, your dignity, and your well-being. If someone cannot handle your no, it simply reveals that they were never truly interested in your well-being. They were only interested in what you could provide, and losing such people is not a loss at all, it is liberation. The first time you say no after years of always saying yes, it may feel terrifying. Your voice may shake, your heart may race, you may even feel guilty, but with time, with practice, it becomes easier. Each no strengthens your backbone, each no clears your space, each no makes you lighter, freer, stronger, until one day you realize that saying no is not rejection, it is protection. It is protection of your time, your energy, your worth. And that protection is the foundation of true respect. Many people fear that saying no will make them lose friends, lose opportunities, lose relationships, and yes, it might, but the truth is, what you lose by saying no is never worth keeping. A friend who only values you when you say yes is not a true friend. An opportunity that requires you to compromise your dignity is not a true opportunity. A relationship that collapses because you set boundaries is not a healthy relationship. Saying no filters your life, it reveals who is genuine and who is not. It separates those who value you from those who only use you. And while you may lose some people, the ones who remain will be the ones who truly respect you. Saying no is also a declaration of independence. It breaks the chains of people pleasing. People pleasing may feel safe, but it is a cage. It traps you in a life that is not truly yours. Every yes given out of fear is another bar on that cage. And the only way to break free is by daring to say no. When you stop living for the approval of others, you start living for your own truth. And in that freedom, respect naturally follows, because people can sense authenticity. They can sense when you are no longer afraid of rejection. They can sense when your yes is real and your no is firm. That kind of presence commands respect without needing to demand it. In every area of life, saying no plays a role in respect. In work, when you set limits on your time, you teach your colleagues and bosses to value your contribution instead of exploiting your effort. In friendships, when you refuse to be taken for granted, you teach your friends to appreciate your presence instead of assuming it. In family, when you draw lines around your personal space and choices, you teach your loved ones that you are not just an extension of their expectations, you are your own person. In relationships, when you stand firm against disrespect, you teach your partner that love without respect is not love at all. Saying no is not about being difficult. It is about being clear. Clarity is powerful. It eliminates confusion. It eliminates manipulation. It eliminates the gray areas where people can take advantage of you. When you are clear about what you will accept and what you will not, you draw a line in the sand. And that line becomes the foundation of respect. People may test it, but once they see that you are firm, they will learn to honor it. Every time you fail to say no when you should, you betray yourself. In self-betrayal is the fastest way to lose both peace and respect. You may keep others happy in the moment, but deep down you are teaching yourself that your feelings do not matter, your time does not matter, your worth does not matter. Over time, that self-betrayal erodes your confidence, your joy, and your identity. But every time you honor yourself with a no, you strengthen your relationship with yourself. You prove to yourself that you matter. And when you respect yourself, others follow. Respect is not earned by being endlessly available. Respect is not earned by being everyone's savior. Respect is not earned by sacrificing yourself for others. Respect is earned by showing that your kindness has strength, that your love has limits, and that your life has value. Saying no is not a sign of selfishness. It is a sign of wisdom. It is the mark of a person who understands that their time, their energy, their life are precious, and not to be wasted on things that drain them. When you master the courage to say no, you reclaim your power. You are no longer controlled by fear of rejection or the need for approval. You walk with a quiet confidence, knowing that you cannot be manipulated, you cannot be used, you cannot be disrespected. People may not always like you, but they will respect you. And respect is far more valuable than fleeting approval, because respect endures. Respect builds trust. Respect creates healthy relationships. Respect allows you to stand tall in any room, knowing that you do not have to bend in order to belong. So remember this truth. Every time you say no when it matters, you are not closing a door. You are opening one. You are opening the door to self-respect, to peace, to freedom, to strength. You are opening the door to relationships built on authenticity instead of exploitation. You are opening the door to a life where you are not consumed by endless demands, but guided by your true priorities. Respect is earned not by saying yes to everything, but by having the courage to say no when it matters most. There is a deep mistake that many people make in life, and it slowly drains their happiness, their confidence, and their spirit. It is the belief that their worth depends on how many people like them, how many people approve of them, or how many people praise them. This belief leads to an exhausting cycle of people pleasing, where every decision, every action, every word is shaped not by what feels true, but by what will keep others happy. And yet no matter how much effort is poured into pleasing everyone, it is never enough. There will always be someone who is disappointed, someone who criticizes, someone who judges. Living this way is like pouring water into a bottomless bucket. It never fills, it never satisfies, it never gives peace. The truth is that your worth does not come from the outside. Your worth does not rise and fall depending on the opinions of others. It is not measured by applause, or approval, or popularity. Your worth is built into who you are. It is unshakable, it is constant, and it does not require permission from anyone. People pleasing is an attempt to buy acceptance, but you cannot buy what is already yours. You are worthy simply by being. The day you were born, your worth was set, and nothing that anyone thinks, says, or does can add to it or take it away. People pleasing is born from fear, fear of rejection, fear of criticism, fear of being alone. That fear whispers that unless you keep everyone happy, you will lose love, you will lose belonging, you will lose connection. And so, you stretch yourself thin, bending over backwards to meet everyone's expectations. You say yes when you want to say no, you agree when your heart disagrees, you stay silent when your soul is screaming, and while on the outside you may appear friendly, agreeable, and loved, inside you are crumbling. Because every time you betray your own truth for the sake of pleasing others, you chip away at your own self-respect. And without self-respect, no amount of external approval can make you feel whole. Think about the energy it takes to keep everyone happy. It is endless. Every person has different expectations, different desires, different judgments. If you live to please one person, another will be dissatisfied. If you shift to please them, someone else will criticize. You can never win the game of people pleasing because the rules are constantly changing and the finish line does not exist. It is a race you will never complete, and the only result is exhaustion. But when you step out of the race, when you realize that your worth is not tied to how others feel about you, you discover freedom. You no longer live chained to approval. You live guided by truth. There is something powerful about a person who does not need validation from the outside. Such a person walks differently, they speak differently, they live differently. They are not afraid of saying no, of being disliked, of being misunderstood, because they know that their worth does not shrink when someone disapproves. Their worth does not fade when someone criticizes. Their worth is not negotiable. And that unshakable self-belief commands respect more than any people-pleasing ever could. It is important to understand that people-pleasing does not actually create real love or real respect. It creates dependency, it creates expectation, it creates manipulation. When you constantly give up your own needs to keep others happy, people stop valuing you. They start using you. They know you will always say yes, they know you will always bend, they know you will always sacrifice yourself. And so, they take you for granted. They don't respect the sacrifice because they expect it. Real respect is born when you honor yourself, when you value your boundaries, when you show that your kindness comes with strength. There will always be people who criticize no matter what you do. You could live your life trying to be perfect in every way, and still someone will point out flaws. You could give everything to someone, and still they may find you lacking. So why waste your energy trying to win everyone's approval? Why exhaust yourself chasing acceptance from people who may never see your worth? Instead, choose to live by your own values, your own truth, your own integrity. The people who truly belong in your life will respect you for it. The rest were never meant to stay. When you stop people-pleasing, you will feel the discomfort of losing some connections. Some people will walk away. Some will criticize you. Some will call you selfish. But remember this. The ones who leave because you stop sacrificing yourself for them were never truly there for you. They were only there for what you could give. And letting them go is not a loss, it is a victory. It clears space for healthier connections, for people who value you for who you are, not for how much you can serve them. One of the greatest tragedies of people-pleasing is that it keeps people from ever living their true life. So many dreams are abandoned because someone was afraid of what others would think. So many talents remain hidden because someone feared rejection. So many passions are silenced because someone was desperate to fit in. People-pleasing robs the world of authenticity. It turns unique souls into copies and powerful voices into echoes. But the moment you stop letting the opinions of others define you, you step into your true self. And that authenticity is far more magnetic, far more inspiring, and far more respected than any mask of approval seeking could ever be. Your worth is not in your ability to keep everyone happy. Your worth is not in your ability to always be available. Your worth is not in your ability to be perfect. Your worth is in your existence, in your individuality, in your courage to be yourself. The world does not need another person molded by others' expectations. It needs the real you. The one who is not afraid to be different. The one who is not afraid to stand alone. The one who does not measure their value by the applause of the crowd. It is not selfish to honor your worth. It is not arrogant to respect yourself. It is not cruel to refuse to please everyone. It is wisdom. It is strength. It is the only way to live a life of peace and authenticity. Because when you stop seeking validation from others, you find validation within. And that inner validation cannot be shaken by rejection, by criticism, or by disapproval. It is steady, it is solid, it is yours. People may call you too bold, too distant, too unapologetic when you stop people-pleasing. But secretly, they will admire you, because deep down, everyone wishes they had the courage to live free from approval. Everyone longs to stand firm in their worth without needing constant validation. And when they see someone living that way, it inspires them. Your refusal to people-please will not only free you, it will empower others to free themselves. The world respects those who respect themselves. Respect begins within, not without. If you live for applause, you will always be a slave to the crowd. But if you live for your truth, you will walk in freedom, and respect will follow naturally. Stop giving away your power by tying your worth to what others think. Stop exhausting yourself in a game that cannot be won. Stop believing that being liked is the same as being valuable. Your worth is already set, already secure, already undeniable. The sooner you believe that, the sooner you step into the life you are meant to live.